Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT and welcome back to another Madden 18 video. Today I'm going to show you guys 10 impossible players that you can't get in Madden 18 Connected Franchise. 10 players that are impossible to trade for, that no matter who you throw out there, they're impossible to get. And the reason I'm making this into a video is, number one, I did a video like this last week with 10 superstars that are easy to get in Connected Franchise via trade, and I said if that video got 2,000 likes, I'd make this video, and that video did get 2,000 likes, so here we are today. Number two, I want to draw your attention to this because this has never been a thing in previous Maddens ever. This is the first Connected Franchise where there's players that are literally impossible to get, and you'll understand why, and I'll show you examples here very soon. Like in the past, yeah, there were players that were hard to get where you'd have to trade like 3 of like the biggest players to get them, or maybe like 3 first-round draft picks to get them, but never in like years past could you like throw in Tom Brady, Malcolm Butler, and like Dante Hightower in a deal, and you couldn't get like Bob. Like, that's how it is this year. So I just want to show you 10 players that are impossible to get, and if somehow out of any of the 10 players that I do show you in today's video, you somehow in your Connected Franchise get them in a trade, be sure to tweet that at me and let me know, because if you do, I'm going to go ahead and pay for your enrollment to Harvard and let you go to Harvard, because you're smarter than all the students there, because I'm sure none of them can find a way to make this happen. So with that said, boys, if you do enjoy today's video, let me know by dropping a like. And if we can smash 2,000 likes on this video, I will make another video as like a second part to the previous 10 superstar players to trade for, because there are more superstars that you can get pretty easily in Connected Franchise. There's a lot more superstars that you can trade for, opposed to impossible players to trade for, which I guess they're not players to trade for because you can't get them. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn your notification bell on if you haven't. I never really talked about the notification bell, but it does help me out if you have notifications on. So with that said, let's jump into player number 1 that is impossible to get, and this is the player that actually sparked my interest into making this video, because I just thought it was stupid because you can't get them. Player number 1 that is impossible to get in Madden 18 is going to be a member of the New York Giants, and that is going to be none other than their wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. 97 overall, 24 years old, and he's just impossible to get. Now, let me tell you, the way you can determine whether the players are impossible to get or not is if you throw in a first-round draft pick, and if the team that you're trading the first-round draft pick to for a particular player has the first-round draft pick not even like coming out of the red in terms of interest, so there's just no way you can get the player. In years past, if this was the same scenario, that would at least be orange, and that would actually give you hope that the deal would go through. But this year, I mean, literally, that would take, judging by that meter, it would take maybe 10 to 12 first-round draft picks to bring in Odell Beckham Jr., which is just stupid. Now, let's try to throw some players out there for Odell Beckham Jr. Now, they need a middle linebacker. We have a great middle linebacker in Brandon Marshall that should have a decent amount of value in this trade. Gonna submit him. Look at that, boys. That's actually lower, I think, than the first-round draft pick. So, let's throw in some other great players that we have. We have Aqib Talib, and we also have, why not throw in Von Miller to the deal? One of the best linebackers in the league. Aqib Talib, one of the best corners in the league, and Brandon Marshall, arguably, I guess, one of the best linebackers in the game at 87 overall. Throwing this trade out there, not even halfway. Not even halfway. And the Giants value all 3 of those players at 5 stars, which means that's the highest value you can possibly get for a player. So it would take 2 Brandon Marshalls, 2 Aqib Talibs, and 2 Von Millers, and that wouldn't even be enough to bring in Odell Beckham Jr. because his deal is less than halfway. And that is so stupid, and if you're going to complain and argue that it's because the players that I just offered aren't necessarily a team need, I'll throw in 3 of the best players that I have that they are interested in terms of positions of when it comes to their team needs. So, we have a left tackle, and the next position they do need is a right outside linebacker, so here is the positions of need. I'm going to throw that in there, and that's actually less than the last one. So, Odell Beckham Jr. is impossible to get, and the reason why this intrigues me so much and is pretty infuriating is because, as you just saw, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Von Miller for Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't even halfway to go through. Now, let's go to another wide receiver and show you why this is even a thing. Julio Jones, 99 overall, was in my Superstar video. That is Superstars easy to get. So you just saw the amount of value it took to only bring the Odell Beckham Jr. trade to halfway. So now let's throw in the positions of need for the Falcons. I'm not trying to get Julio Jones. I'm just trying to prove a point. Let's throw in a right guard. They have Max Garcia, who they could potentially want. And they also need a right outside linebacker. And I'm going to show you these 2 players, how close this is to bringing in Julio Jones compared to the Odell Beckham Jr. deal. Like, all we need to do is throw in maybe a second-round draft pick, and we could get Julio Jones. And that's for only Max Garcia and Shane Ray. So apparently, Max Garcia and Shane Ray make a deal closer for Julio Jones than Von Miller, Aqib Talib, and Chris Harris do for Odell Beckham Jr., which is just absolutely stupid because, first of all, Julio Jones is 2 overall higher than Odell Beckham Jr. Second of all, is there a little bit of a discrepancy in the value between Max Garcia, Shane Ray, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, Von Miller? I think so, but Madden 18 doesn't. So that's the first player that's impossible to get. And like I said, no deals are probably going to happen in this video. That's why it's called impossible deals, because they're impossible to get. Player number 2 is going to be a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that, of course, is going to be their 99 overall running back, Le'Veon Bell. Now, another player that the reason he's on this list is I'll show you in comparison to another player after we go through the deal and show you that he's impossible to get. Now, like I said, tradition in this video is going to be the first thing we do is offer a first-round draft pick. So show you guys all 10 of these players don't have their deal coming out of the red when I offer a first-round draft pick for them. But once again, they need a middle linebacker. We have one of the best ones in the game, Brandon Marshall. Last year, if this was a thing, this would probably be about halfway. It wouldn't go through straight up, but it'll be about halfway. So this in there, in the freaking red, in the red, boys. So they need a cornerback. So their position of need is cornerback. We have 2 of the best ones in the game. So Brandon Marshall and 2 cornerbacks, which we do need. Throwing that in there. And that, that's like, I think, just a little bit less than halfway. So according to this, it takes 2 Brandon Marshalls, 2 Aqib Talibs, and 2 Chris Harrisons to bring in Le'Veon Bell. That's stupid. And you know why that's stupid? Because you go to arguably the second best running back in the NFL, and that is David Johnson. He is a 96 overall, same age as Le'Veon Bell, so the only difference is 3 overall lower, but he's still the second best in the game. Now, to get him, I could probably throw in Bradley Roby, who's a 76 overall, and that's about the same exact amount as that deal we just offered for Le'Veon Bell was. Like, that's absolutely freaking ridiculous. So we could probably throw in a left tackle, Garrett Bowles, and see how. I'm not thinking this deal's going to go through because I don't want him to go through. I just trying to show you how much different the value is for the 2 players. So Garrett Bowles for David Johnson is actually a little bit higher in terms of the trade interest level than Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Brandon Marshall for Le'Veon Bell, which is just stupid. So if I throw in, do I get David Johnson just to show you, like for this video, just to show as an example? This deal probably won't go through. It'll probably be very close. I just want to show you guys the deal. I probably throw in a 3rd-round draft pick or 4th-round draft pick, and David Johnson is mine. So this game is just stupid. Absolutely stupid. So anyways, Le'Veon Bell, player number 2. So player number 3 going down to the New England Patriots, which we will visit 2 times in this video, and that is going to be none other than Malcolm Butler. He is 95 overall and 27 years of age, and the tradition is to throw in a first-round draft pick, and the thing about Malcolm Butler is you throw in a first-round draft pick, and I believe out of this top 10, that is the least amount of interest gained from a first-round draft pick for a player, which is ridiculous, because Malcolm Butler, I mean, he's good, obviously, but let me show you straight up. Tom Brady instead of Malcolm Butler. I mean, it's Tom Brady for a first-round draft pick, and that's not actually as high as I thought it was going to be, but Tom Brady isn't impossible to get. I'll show you in just a second. But anyways, for Malcolm Butler, let's see what we could offer. They need a left outside linebacker. We have one of the best ones. We have the second, well, I guess he's co-best in the game with Khalil Mack. But Von Miller for Malcolm Butler. And that's not even higher. That's just a little bit higher than the first-round draft pick. So what else do they need? We have an 87 overall center that they do need. We'll throw him in there. And go ahead and throw in, what else they need? A strong safety. Why don't we go ahead and throw in our cornerback, because we have a really good cornerback in Aqib Talib. So Aqib Talib, who's higher overall than Malcolm Butler, a center, which they do need, and the best linebacker in the game for Malcolm Butler. And the deal is not even halfway. And the reason this is stupid is because, like I said, Tom Brady, instead of Malcolm Butler for just a center straight up, is like about as much as the other trade was. So now we can throw in a strong safety, TJ Ward, and Matt Paradise for Tom Brady. And now all it would take is like maybe a 2nd or maybe a 3rd-round draft pick to bring in Tom Brady. Like, look at the value discrepancy between Tom Brady and Malcolm Butler. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So once again, another player impossible to get is going to be Malcolm Butler on the Patriots. And once again, like I said, if you guys can find a way to make that trades go through in your own personal connected franchise, be sure to tweet a picture of that at me, because you are a genius and I will pay your way into Harvard. Now, player number 4. This is a player I understand why he's so hard to get, but it still wouldn't be a thing in years past. Khalil Mack. Now, he's a 9 overall, but I mean, throwing in the first round draft pick just to see, and the deal is like 13 first round draft picks away from actually happening. Now with that said, let's go with positions of need now. Brandon Marshall. They also need a defensive tackle. We have a decent one in D'Amato Pecco, who they are interested in. Now we have a free safety in Darian Stewart. So 3 low overall players, but well, not necessarily Brandon Marshall. They're up decently overall for Khalil Mack. And the deal is about a third of the way to go through. Now, why don't we just go ahead and throw in the 3 great players that we have on our team: Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Von Miller. And if you're telling me they're not even interested in 9 overall Von Miller, so that just shows you right there that this game's freaking stupid. So we'll go back and throw in Brandon Marshall instead. So if you're telling me in real life the Raiders wouldn't accept a trade for Khalil Mack that involved Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Brandon Marshall, I'm pretty sure they would accept that. As good as Khalil Mack is, they would definitely accept that. And according to this, I'm pretty sure if the trade if it had 2 Aqib Talibs, 2 Chris Harrises, and 2 Brandon Marshalls, I'm pretty sure they would accept that. But in this game, if I offer 2 of these players, it wouldn't even be completed because this deal isn't even halfway to going through. So Khalil Mack, another player, completely impossible to get in Madden 18 Connected Franchise. Now moving on to player number 5, the next team on the list, another defensive player, and that is Aaron Donald. Another absolute beast, but still should be possible to get. Now, tradition, throwing in the first round draft pick to see how far it goes up in this deal. And first round draft pick is going to go up like a 15th of the way to filling up the meter. So 15 first round draft picks and you can get yourself Aaron Donald. Now moving along, need a quarterback, Trevor Siemian. Games do overvalue quarterbacks. Moving on to let's throw in a wide receiver, which we haven't done yet, Emmanuel Sanders. And how about they do want a cornerback? So we'll throw in Aqib Talib, see if the deal is even halfway to going through. Nope, of course not. So we'll take out Trevor Siemian, and since they need a cornerback, throw in both of our great all-pro cornerbacks for Aaron Donald, not even halfway. So the Rams would take, it would take maybe Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, Emmanuel Sanders, Brandon Marshall, Trevor Siemian, and maybe C.J. Anderson to get. I don't even think that deal would go through if we traded all those players for Aaron Donald according to this meter, trade interest level meter. So another player it's possible to get is Aaron Donald. Now moving on to the 6th player in this list of 10 players impossible to get. That's going to be a wide receiver. I believe the 2nd wide receiver of today's video. The 2nd and last wide receiver. That is going to be Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, yes, he's good and young, 93 overall, but he shouldn't be impossible to get. Now, the thing with this deal is, first of all, like others, we throw in the first round draft pick and just show you it's not out of the red, and it's not. Now, we're going to go to their number 1 position of need, which is left outside linebacker, and we have the best one in the game. So if they need a linebacker at that position, and we have the best one in the game, shouldn't they be at least a little bit interested in them? No. According to the game, it would take about 7 or 8 Von Millers to bring in Mike Evans. Stupid. Just stupid. Now, they need a cornerback as well. We have 2 of the best corners in the game. So 3 positions they do need. For 93 overall Mike Evans, I'm pretty sure a wide receiver would be replaceable if you could bring in 3 of the best defensive players in the league. But according to Madden, the deal is only about just a little bit over halfway to going through. That's actually the most interest was actually generated, I think, in the deal in today's video. But I can't really tell. I think that's exactly halfway, or maybe a little bit less than halfway for Mike Evans. So they need every single one of these positions. We have 3 of the best players at that position in the game. But I don't know. I don't know what Madden wants me to do to get Mike Evans. So with that said, Mike Evans, impossible to get. Moving on to player number 7, I believe. And this, I believe, is going to be the lowest overall player in this whole entire video. Still a good player, though. And that is 90 overall Xavier Rhodes. And he's not, like, super young or anything. He's 27 years old. Which is about, I mean, it's still young. But in terms of, like, saying the reason you can't get these players because they're super young, that would be the case with Xavier Rhodes. So, same thing as we did with the other players. Gonna throw in a first-round draft pick and see if somehow, some way, it could potentially get out of the red. So our first round draft pick for Xavier Rhodes? No! That's actually, I think, less than Mike Evans. So, first round draft pick, take about 10 of those, 12 of those to get Xavier Rhodes. Let's throw in the positions of need that the Vikings do have. They need a right outside linebacker. We do have Shane Ray. Left tackle, which we do have Garrett Bowles, who's a first round draft pick. They also need a strong safety. So we'll throw in a strong safety, T.J. Ward. They're interested in all 3 of these players. Will the deal go in, through? No. It's actually in the yellow, though, but still. It's going to take like 2 or 3 more players that they have a 5-star value in to bring in Xavier Rhodes. Now, if you want to make the argument, oh, if you threw in Von Miller and Chris Harrison to keep Talib of this deal, it would go through because this one's in the yellow. So let me explain to you that it won't. It'll probably actually be less than that deal that was right there. So we're going to throw in left outside linebacker Von Miller and also throw in our 2 great cornerbacks. We're interested in all 3 of these players, 99, 96, 96 for a 90 overall. And this deal is about exactly the same as that last deal, although those other players didn't really have nearly as much talent as these 3 players did. So Xavier Rhodes, probably the easiest player to get out of this video, but I don't think you can actually consider him easy when he's impossible to get in the first place. So Xavier Rhodes is the next victim on this list for everybody out there that's trying to get a good corner. You're not going to be able to get Xavier Rhodes because you can't get him. Moving along to a player that is understandable because he was the first-round draft pick, the first overall draft pick in this past NFL draft, but still shouldn't be impossible to get. Myles Garrett, 84 overall. Keep in mind, he is a rookie, but still an 84 overall. You're telling me if in real life the Browns got offered to keep Talib, Chris Harris, and Von Miller for Myles Garrett and they wouldn't accept it, they would need to fire everybody in their organization. Now, exactly like we have it done in every single deal, let's see if this is out of the red by chance. And no, which I do think that is the most interest a first-round draft pick has gained in this video for a player, but still, that would take about 6 or 7 of those to bring in Myles Garrett. Now, let's go to the positions of need next, which is a quarterback, Trevor Siemian, middle linebacker, which is we have, like I said, one of the best in the game, and Brandon Marshall, right outside linebacker, Shane Ray, and see if this deal is close to going through. It's about halfway. So it's going to take 2 Brandon Marshalls, 2 Shane Rays, and 2 Trevor Siemians to bring in Myles Garrett. But hey, they only value Trevor Siemian at 3 stars. So why not take him out and throw in a very good player, and that's Von Miller. So Von Miller, Shane Ray, and Brandon Marshall for Myles Garrett in the yellow. So it would take probably 2 Von Millers, probably 2 or 3 Von Millers on top of this deal to make Myles Garrett become a Denver Bronco. So why don't we just go ahead and throw in all of the best players we have on this team and keep Talib and Chris Harris as well, who they are interested in. And what do you know? Not even out the yellow. So it'd probably take Von Miller, keep Talib, Chris Harris, probably Demaryius Thomas, and Emmanuel Sanders to get Myles Garrett. But unfortunately, in Madden 18 and all the Maddens ever, you can only offer 3 players at a time. So Myles Garrett, the next player on this list of impossible players to get Madden 18 Connected Franchise. Moving along, 2 players to go in this video. One that I get, this guy's kind of surprising. It's a player that we have gone after in past Connected Franchise series, but maybe this makes sense why we've never been able to get him before, and that is Desmond Trufant. He's 26 years old, so he is pretty young. At 92 overall, I believe he's 2nd or 3rd lowest overall player in this video. But as always, see if a first-round draft pick can gain any interest whatsoever, and no. That's about probably the 2nd least amount of interest we've gained from a first-round draft pick. So now, next, as we've done, move into positions of need. Right guard, you have a right outside linebacker in Shane Ray, and then left in, I think we have Derek Wolfe. If they are interested in all 3 of these players, submit the trade, not even halfway. So instead of that, as always, throwing in the beast Von Miller, and then 2 cornerbacks that could potentially replace him. So if you're the Falcons and you wouldn't, okay, if you're the Atlanta Falcons, do you accept a trade for Von Miller, keep Talib, and Chris Harris? I know I would. I mean, if they don't, you're stupid. You're freaking stupid. But let's see if the Falcons will. That actually was lower, I think, than the other deal we just offered. So, according to the Falcons, it'd take 2 of each one of these players to get Desmond Trufant, plus maybe probably 3 Von Millers, 3 Keep Talibs, and 2 Chris Harrises to get Desmond Trufant. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So, boys, the last and final player when it comes to the impossible players to get in Madden 18 Connected Franchise, we're going to the New England Patriots for the 2nd and final time. That is going to be Dante Hightower, who is the 2nd lowest overall in the impossible players to get in Madden 18 Connected Franchise. Now, as always, one last time, throw in the first-round draft pick, see where they stand when it comes to wanting a first-round draft pick in return for Dante Hightower. Nope, not even freaking close. So, go to positions of need. We'll go to the top 3 position of need from the New England Patriots. Throw in Shane Ray, throw in a strong safety, TJ Ward, and we have Derek Wolfe as well. 3 players that they are interested in fully. Throw it in there, and it's in the yellow. The 2nd player that we've gotten to the yellow in today's video. But I mean, what else you want? I guarantee I throw on top Chris Harris and Aqib Talib on top of this deal, and they still wouldn't accept it. So, as always, what we've done in this video, we're going to throw in Aqib Talib, throw in Von Miller, and throw in Chris Harris. And now just to show you guys, I'll probably have some people complaining saying you can't offer two of the same players at the same position because they won't gain any extra interest. I'll show you. So keep Khalid Von Miller, Chris Harris for Dante Hightower. That actually went down. That actually went down from the other deal. So just to make you guys happy, to finish off the video, we'll take out Aqib Talib. We'll throw in their #1 position of need in this deal. It'll probably go back up to the yellow, but not enough to make the deal go through. Shane Ray instead, and the trade just goes up to the yellow. So we can throw on top Aqib Talib the deal. And I don't know, maybe C.J. Anderson and maybe Demaryius Thomas, and then maybe, just maybe it would go through. This game's just freaking stupid. The game's just gosh dang stupid. And like I said, if you can find a way to get one of these 10 players in your own connected franchise, please tweet it at me. And if you do, it'll make me feel stupid. And I'm going to move into the forest, become a caterpillar. So with that said, boys, hopefully you did enjoy today's video. I'm sorry we couldn't make any of these trades go through, but that was kind of the point of the video. So hopefully they fix this, because this isn't necessarily a bug, but it's just stupid because it'll make connected franchise series, especially the ones I run, and rebuilds really repetitive, because people will just keep getting the same players over and over again when you know there's easy players to get that are better than the players that are impossible to get. So you'll never see impossible players traded for in connected franchise series and rebuilds, because you can't just physically get them. So hopefully they fix that. I know they said going into this year they tweaked the trading system to make some players more valuable than others, but I compared like Julio Jones to Odell Beckham Jr. and that's just stupid. That makes no sense whatsoever. I compared Le'Veon Bell to David Johnson, and David Johnson actually costs less than Le'Veon Bell. So where's the logic in that? Hopefully somebody from EA sees this and fixes it, because they don't normally make adjustments to connected franchise throughout this series or throughout the Madden season. And hopefully they do, because if they don't, my trades and my videos could get very repetitive, because you can't trade for particular players because the game can be stupid at times. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the video regardless. And like I said, guys, 2,000 likes on today's video, and I will make another video on top of the last week's video. 10 more easy superstars to trade for Madden 18 connected franchise. Like I said, 2,000 likes, and that will come out later this week. Be sure to let me know of any other ideas like this in the comment section below that you do want me to do for a video. And if I see a comment with a lot of thumbs up, I will make it into a video. But with that said, boys, that's going to do it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.